UFC 270 and Ngannou vs Gane takes place in only a matter of hours, and I'm going to break down my last-minute detailed predictions for every single fight on the card, starting with the early prelims, ending with the main event. I'm not just saying who I believe is going to win. I did that earlier this week. I'm trying to break down and describe exactly how every single fight is going to go, down to a T, minute by minute, what KO is going to be achieved, what limb will be used to get that KO blow, when that KO blow will happen, and also what submission will be used if there is going to be a submission win, and what the scorecards are going to be if we do go to a decision, and who's going to win each round and how they're going to win each round. I'm starting straight away with the early prelim opener of Hansen versus Jasmine Jasudavicius. I'm going to go with Jasmine Jasudavicius by decision win. I think Hansen's going to start a little bit slow. She's been out for a while, and I think Jasmine Jasudavicius is going to score herself a 29-27 decision win. I think she's going to dominate the first round against Hansen, beat her up on the feet, be too much for her on the feet, take her down. Hansen might try a couple of submission attempts, but Jasmine Jasudavicius is going to escape them, land some big shots again. But this 10-8 round in the first is going to lead to Jasmine Jasudavicius starting to slow down as the fight goes on now. She's still going to win the second round for herself, and I think she's going to land some good shots on the feet early on, but now Hansen starting to get her range a little bit on the feet, land some good shots back, land some shots to the body and stuff like that. Jasmine Jasudavicius gets her to the ground, but this time Hansen has a couple of close submission attempts off of her back, goes for an armbar, goes for a triangle. Jasmine Jasudavicius escapes those positions and lands enough total strikes on top to make sure she's still winning those exchanges and make sure that she wins the second round. Then the third round, I believe Hansen's going to have a little bit of a comeback, but it'll be too little too late. I think she's going to have a good third round. Not quite 10-8 worthy. 10-9 in the third round. Jasmine Jasudavicius is going to start strong, landing some good shots on the feet. Goes for her takedown. Doesn't get the takedown. Hansen might end up on top. Go for a couple of submissions there. Take the back maybe. Try fight for a rear naked choke. But it's going to be too little too late. And Jasmine Jasudavicius is going to win herself that fight 29-27 by unanimous decision. Moving on up the card. Silvana Juarez versus Venessa Demopoulos. This is a big fight on the prelims as well. I'm going to go with Venessa Demopoulos, and I'm going to go by rear naked choke in the second round, I believe, or at the end of the first round. I think Venessa Demopoulos is going to be too aggressive for Silvana Juarez. I think they're both going to have a decent time on the feet, but Venessa Demopoulos is going to get the better of the situation on the feet, maybe break the nose of Silvana Juarez, just be a little bit more tenacious, a little bit more aggressive, and a little bit more powerful on the feet as well. I think she'll eventually get Silvana Juarez to the ground, land some big shots, maybe take mount at one point as well after passing into half guard, taking mount eventually, landing total strikes to get her to that position of mount and make Silvana Juarez open up while she punches her in the face. Gets into the full mount position, starts raining down some big shots. Juarez is trying to buck and weave and hip escape. She can't quite do it, so she rolls over. More shots to sort of like the behind the ear area from Venessa Demopoulos on Silvana Juarez. Then Silvana Juarez is going to have enough of being punched in the side of the head, give up her neck, and Venessa Demopoulos will get a rear naked choke at the end of round one. Moving on to the prelims. Matt Frevola versus Genaro Valdez. I'm going to go with Genaro Valdez by first round TKO. I think this is going to happen around the midway point of round one. I think Matt Frevola is going to go out there, try and earn some respect on the feet early. I think Valdez is going to teach him that there's no respect to be had here. I think he's going to beat him on the feet early on. Matt Frevola is going to try shooting some takedowns. He's going to get a couple of those takedowns, but Genaro Valdez is going to work his way back up, land a good knee to the body, land a good knee to the head and separate. Then Matt Frevola is going to throw a punch, land it, shoot a takedown underneath it again, get Valdez to the ground. Valdez works his way back up against the cage, lands a good knee to the body, lands a good elbow off the break as well. Matt Frevola tries shooting again. Doesn't get him down, doesn't keep him down. Valdez gets right back up this time immediately. Another big knee to the body. They separate. Now Matt Frevola's going to try standing up for a little bit. Tries to throw a couple of good shots. Valdez lands a couple of good shots of his own back. Rocks Matt Frevola, who shoots a panic takedown. Gets it stuffed easily. Eats a knee to the body. Eats an uppercut. Eats an elbow. Down goes Matt Frevola in the mid part of the first round. Around 3 minutes in, I'll say, or 2.5 minutes in, Matt Frevola goes down in the first round to an elbow in the clinch from Genaro Valdez and maybe a kick from range or something like that. Valdez gets the TKO win in the first round. Moving on up the card, Tony Gravely versus Saimon Oliveira. I'm going to go with Tony Gravely here by third round TKO. Saimon Oliveira, very capable, but he's not used to fighting at the pace that Tony Gravely fights at, and I think that's going to be a big problem. They're both going to have a good first round. Maybe Simon Oliveira actually is going to come out and win that first round, just barely. Tony Gravely will probably get him down a couple of times. Oliveira will work his way back up or threaten some submissions off of his back, and maybe he'll just slightly win the stand-up game in that first round, but it's going to be a very high-paced fight. Oliveira landing more shots to the head in the first round, Gravely landing more shots to the body. I think he's going to land a nice couple of good body hooks in that first round. Then the second round comes around, Gravely starting to get the better of things, but Oliveira's still dangerous, still game, still landing good shots on the feet, but Gravely's starting to get a reaction out of some of those body shots, and Oliveira's starting to shoot a couple of his own takedowns that Gravely stuffs. Gravely stuffs it, ends up on top at the end of the second round, in half guard, landing total strikes, trying to pass over into mount, lands a couple of big shots at the end of the round as well. Oliveira's trying to hip escape on the ground, gets saved by the bell. Third round happens, Oliveira starts strong, tries landing a couple of big shots. Gravely lands a massive shot on the chin of Oliveira. Oliveira's wobbled, Gravely shoots on him against a cage, picks him up, dunks him in the centre of the cage, passes over his guard like nothing, rains down big shots, and towards 2 minutes in of the third round, I think Tony Gravely will be declared the victor by shots of ground and pound in full mounts in the centre of the cage, and I think he gets it done by third round TKO. Moving on up the card, Jack Della Maddalena versus Pete Rodriguez. I'm going to go with Jack Della Maddalena by late second round TKO here. I think there's going to be a card full of TKOs on the prelims especially. Jack Della Maddalena, late second round TKO. I think Pete Rodriguez is going to start really strong. He's going to land some really big punches. Expect to go after Jack Della Maddalena, and I think he's going to rush after him early on, land a big punch, try and follow it up, but Jack Della Maddalena is going to stay composed even whilst he's been hit by a big shot, land like a really good check hook counter as Pete Rodriguez comes in, and Rodriguez is like, oh fuck, this ain't like the bums on the regional scene. I need to actually be a bit more patient here. So he tries to be a bit more patient. That leads to Jack Della Maddalena taking the momentum back after the first 2 minutes or so in the first round, landing some good shots of his own. Pete Rodriguez still landing great shots, shooting a couple of good takedowns that Della Maddalena gets right back up from, knees him to the body, lands a couple of good body shots, couple of good jabs, starts throwing his great combinations towards the second half of the first round. Pete Rodriguez might tag him again. Della Maddalena might go down, get wobbled a little bit, but pop right back up and move and frame off like Volkanovski does. It's a very Australian style of doing it, I guess. And Pete Rodriguez is going to go after him, swinging like crazy. Oh my god, Pete Rodriguez, this is his moment. Della Maddalena cracks him with a check hook again as he comes in aggressive. Pete Rodriguez goes down in the first round, gets back up. They're standing there staring at each other, swinging back and forth at the end of the first round. The bell sounds. They've both been hurt a little bit. Second round happens. Pete Rodriguez was gassed out on his stall. He took this fight on short notice. Maddalena's landed some really good shots to the body as well, which is going to be some good investment, and landed some like really good knees to the body whenever Pete Rodriguez tried that takedown. Second round happens, both guys very patient. Della landing some good shots to the legs, landing some good shots to the body. Pete Rodriguez goes in for another big flurry but misses a bunch of his shots, tries a takedown, doesn't get the takedown. Della Maddalena stuffs it, gets underhooks, lands a couple of knees to the body, lands a couple of knees to the head, starts teeing off against the cage. Pete Rodriguez grits down and tries to throw back. Della slips out of the way, rolls under, lands a big punch, lands a body shot, lands a good knee to the body, body shot, left hand, right hand, following up. Over and over again, volume-based attack to the body, to the head. Down goes Pete Rodriguez in the second round, completely gassed out and worn out to the body. Jack Della Maddalena gets this one done. Moving on up the card, Raoni Barcelos versus Victor Henry. I'm going to go with Raoni Barcelos by 30-26 decision. I think this is going to be very dominant, but I credit the toughness of Victor Henry enough to not say that this is going to be a finish or anything like that. Victor Henry, ridiculously tough guy. He's game, he's tough, he's experienced. I don't think he's going to be quitting out there. He knows this is his one chance to get into the UFC. I believe he's, 34 years of age. It's now or never. And Raoni Barcelos is going to have a very Khalid Taha-esque performance where he beats Victor Henry. I think in the first round, he's going to chop at the legs of Victor Henry early on, land some good shots to the head and stuff like that, and maybe take Victor Henry off of his feet with a leg kick early on, chop at his calf, destroy his calf in that first round. In the second round, I think they're going to have a similar situation. Victor Henry trying to pressure forward, trying to shoot some takedowns. Can't get them. Raoni Barcelos stuffs him. Lands good knees to the body. Chops at the calf again. We're starting to wince now at the calf damage of Victor Henry. And then when he goes in towards the end of the second round, Barcelos lands a signature uppercut of Barcelos. His famous uppercut. Lands it on Victor Henry. Drops him badly, goes after him, swarms him against the cage, big shots, big shots. Victor Henry gets a takedown out of nowhere. It sort of slows things down. Raoni Barcelos has to work his way back up, land another good knee to the body, some more punches to the head, rock Victor Henry at the end of the second round. But now Raoni Barcelos is starting to use up a lot of energy and slow himself down, so I think he's going to score a 10-8 in the second after destroying Victor Henry's leg in the first. Then the third round happens, and it's a bit more of a competitive round, but still Raoni Barcelos, the leg damage is too much. Victor Henry starting to keep him down a little bit longer with some of the takedowns, maybe land a couple more shots on the feet as well. But overall, the big damage of the round is going to be Raoni Barcelos landing those calf kicks, landing good shots to the body, landing big shots upstairs, but they've got a little bit of heat off of him because he's worn himself out going for a finish in round 2. And I think Victor Henry's going to have a more competitive third round, but still a third round to Raoni Barcelos. The calf kicks are going to be the difference. 30-26, Raoni Barcelos. Moving on up the card to the main card, which still looks like the prelims. Michael Morales versus Trevin Giles. A good thing I said main card, otherwise you wouldn't be able to tell. Michael Morales, Trevin Giles. I'm going to go with Michael Morales. 29-28 decision. Razor close is what I'm going to go with. Michael Morales is going to go out there early, mix things up, get a couple of takedowns, land some good shots on the feet. He's got a massive reach advantage over Trevin Giles. I think he's going to be peppering up his face early, landing the better shots. And I just think Trevin Giles, moving down to welterweight, is going to have a bit of a problem finding that frequency. You know, he's not going to be used to the speed difference. Oh wow, these guys have hands as fast as mine, if not faster. So I think Michael Morales is going to shock him early, land a bunch of good shots, good body kicks, good leg kicks, good shots upstairs. Trevin Giles having his own success. Maybe he starts shooting his own takedowns towards the end of the first round to change things up a bit, but Morales gets back up, lands some good shots, separates elbow, goes for a big flurry at the end of the first round to secure it. 10-9 to Michael Morales in the first round. The second round, Giles is going to be a little bit more composed, landing some decent shots of his own, but Michael Morales is going to keep... Wow, Giles has a 74-inch reach. That is actually embarrassing. Either way, Michael Morales is going to still pepper up the face of Trevin Giles in the first 3 minutes of the second round, landing good shots, good leg kicks, good head kicks here and there. Giles is going to take them. Morales shoots a takedown, gets to back for a bit. Giles fights his way out of it, ends up back up, shoots his own takedown towards the end of the second round, ends up on top in half guard, landing his own total strikes, raining down some shots, but Michael Morales has won like the first 3.5 minutes of the second round, so the round's still going to go to him 10-9. Don't be surprised if there's a rogue judge that scores that second round to Giles for no fucking reason. Either way, third round happens. Giles starts to have a little bit more success. Michael Morales doing good for the first half of the third round, landing his own shots, peppering him up, moving around on the outside, shooting a couple of good takedowns. One of them gets stuffed. This changes the mood of the fight. Morales is starting to slow down. He's on all adrenaline. It's his UFC debut. Things are starting to get to him. Giles is walking him down a little bit. This is his moment, but he's too battered to the legs and body to really capitalize the way he needs to. But he lands a good 1-2 on Morales. A good body shot. Morales swings back, shoots another takedown. It gets stuffed. Trevin Giles works him back up to his feet. Good knee to the body. Good 1-2 from Giles again. He's starting to feel himself, starting to roll the shoulders a little bit, having a bit more confidence. He cracks Michael Morales at the end of the third round, hurts him quite badly, but Morales has kept the round competitive enough, so he clinches up, survives, pushes Giles against the cage, and that's where the fight ends. I think Giles is going to have some real success at the end of the third, but it's going to be too little too late. Michael Morales, 29-28. Split decision. There's going to be a split decision. So we'll say split decision Michael Morales. One retarded judge scores it for Trevin Giles in the second round, even though they shouldn't. Moving on up the card. Cody Stamann versus Said Nurmagomedov. I'm going to go Said Nurmagomedov. Spinning back kick KO to the body is what I'm going to go with. Spinning back kick KO. I think Cody Stamann's going to start real patient, moving around on the outside, throwing a lot of feints. Said Nurmagomedov's going to be jabbing his face off early on, popping his head back now and again, bloodying up his nose, swelling shut his eye. Cody Stamann's going to start shooting some takedowns, get a couple of them for a split second, but Said will work his way back up on one leg and bounce around, and Stamann's trying to catch one of the legs and take him down from it, but Said is too tall and too rangy to do that too. Said's landing those shots he landed on Mark Striegel as Cody Stamann has the leg, which makes Cody Stamann give up that leg. Then Said Nurmagomedov, around the midway point of the first round, is going to time the takedown of Cody Stamann with a spinning back kick to the body. It's going to hurt Cody Stamann, but he's going to stay standing, try and grab the leg of Said, who's going to land those same shots again. Cody Stamann goes down. Said gets into half guard or full mount, lands big shots, big elbows, big shots again, tries to go for a choke. Stamann fights out of it. More big shots from Said Nurmagomedov. Stamann's trying to scramble. He's hurt to the body. He can't move too well. Get out of there, Cody. You gotta move. Doesn't happen. Said Nurmagomedov gets the first round TKO on Cody Stamann, beginning with a spinning back kick to the body. Stamann's so small and chunky and wide in the torso, I think the body shot with a spinning back kick is there all day. Said's got many before in his career. Moving on up the card, Michel Pereira versus Andre Fialho. I'm going to go with Michel Pereira via... I think he's going to get his... rear naked choke. His standing rear naked choke that he constantly goes for. He got one against Madiev, but it wasn't really a tap, so it was a bit of a weird situation. I think he's finally going to get that move on Andre Fialho, and I think he's going to get it very well in the first round. At the end of the first round, Fialho's going to have some moments going after Michel Pereira. Pereira's going to make him miss, slap him a couple of times, land a good knee, but it's going to be smothered by Andre Fialho's chest, but he still lands a big knee to the stomach and chest of Andre Fialho as he crashes in and closes the distance. Pereira lands big shots, good front kicks to the body at range, good leg kicks at range as well. Fialho's starting to get a little bit frustrated on short notice, goes in to swing again, stays patient, shoots a takedown, can't quite get it. Pereira lands some good knees to the body, some good little elbows as well, some Travis Brown elbows, some punches as well. They end up in the clinch. Pereira turns it around, elbows on the break big time. Fialho lands a big shot back, but Pereira takes it well. Fialho thinks he's got him, follows it up, chases him down a bit, gets a little bit sloppy because he's been chopped at the legs and hit to the body a couple of good times as well. So he's a bit sloppy rushing in. Thinks he's landed a good shot and he's got Pereira on the ropes. Goes in to close the distance. Pereira moves back, lands another jump knee square to the chest. It's not going to knock out Andre Fialho, but it's going to separate him. He's going to land a big right hand off the break as well as they separate from that flying knee collision. And I think that's going to rock Andre Fialho, who's going to stagger off away from Michel Pereira, who's then going to jump on his back, take the rear naked choke him out for his face in the first round. First round rear naked choke after rocking Fialho with a right hand for Michel Pereira. Moving on up the card, Brandon Moreno versus Deiveson Figueiredo. I'm going to go with Deiveson. I'm not going to go with Deiveson. God! It's my inner conscience. He's looking really good this week, and people are sleeping on him. But I'm still going to go with Moreno. I think Figueiredo's going to win the first 2 rounds of this fight, though, that's for sure. I think he's going to land real big shots early. Moreno's not going to be as switched on as he should be early on. I think Figueiredo's going to land some uppercuts, some big right hands. He might rock Moreno and then try to go to the body, land some big shots, shoot a takedown, end up on top, get in half guard, land total strikes, elbow the body in half guard, stuff like that. And Moreno's going to scramble up, be against the cage at the end of the first round. Second round happens. I think Figueiredo, again, is going to start really strong. I think this is as well, by the way, I need to mention this. He will start this fight with a spinning back kick to the body, 100%. 100% he will start this fight with a spinning back kick to the body, and he'll have a more wrestling heavy approach as well. He will spinning back kick Moreno in the body. Same thing happened. I said McGregor in the trilogy against Poirier is going to spinning back kick Poirier in the body as soon as the fight starts, maybe multiple times. That's exactly what he did. It's an ego-driven move. You've lost the second fight. You need to get it back, and you immediately start with like a disrespectful move that you're good at. Spinning back kick to the body straight away is what's going to happen. But in the second round, I think Figueiredo's going to land some big shots. Moreno's going to land a couple of good shots back, try and go for a head kick. Figueiredo shoots at the same time, gets Moreno down. Moreno scrambles. Figueiredo, they're both back up on the feet. They're against the cage. Figueiredo stomps on the legs, lands a couple of knees to the fire, elbows off the break. Moreno's still there. 1-2 from Moreno lands good. They're at range. A little bit slowed down now. Been a very high-paced first round with a lot of grappling exchanges. Figueiredo's going to land a good 1-2. Crack Moreno in the second round again. A good uppercut. Slips the jab of Moreno. Lands a right hand over the top. Shoots again underneath. Gets a double leg. Takes down Moreno. Ends up on top after Moreno goes for a guillotine. Ends up in side control. Elbowing the body. Elbowing the face. Second round goes to Figueiredo as well. Third round, Moreno's starting to teep the body a bit. Figueiredo's not liking it. He's starting to land some more shots on the feet as well. Figueiredo's landing big shots too, but he's missing a lot of his big shots now. Moreno's starting to get his timing down, starting to find his jab and find that reach advantage that he has. Figueiredo's going to start missing a bit more. Shoots a takedown, gets the takedown, but this time Moreno gets back up. Maybe reverses position afterwards, ends up on top and wins that round on top. Total strikes landing on Figueiredo. Round 4. They're both going to go to war on the feet. It's going to be sloppy. Moreno's going to get rocked. He's going to crack Figueiredo back, finish with a head kick, rock Figueiredo badly. It's going to be exactly the same as the 4th round in their first fight that they had. Both guys swinging, but this time in the 5th round, after Moreno wins the 4th and possibly wins the 3rd in a very close round, Moreno's not going to have a broken arm. He's going to put it on Figueiredo, make the fight happen. Figueiredo shoots a takedown, doesn't get what he wants. Moreno ends up on top, landing big shots. In one desperate attempt to get back up, Figueiredo bucks and weaves, ends back up on his feet, but he's exhausted. Moreno's walking him down. Big shots, big body shot, big head kick, 1-2. Figueiredo covers up. Big right hand from Moreno again around the ear area. Down goes Figueiredo. Big follow-up shots from Moreno. TKO in the 5th round. Figueiredo tries to grab at the referee's leg afterwards. He's still somewhat with it, but he's not quite there. Moreno gets the 5th round TKO against Figueiredo. Moving on up the card, Francis Ngannou versus Ciryl Gane. I'm going to go with Ciryl Gane. And I'm going to go with Ciryl Gane by 4th round arm triangle, I think. By 4th round arm triangle. I don't see Ngannou getting TKO'd or KO'd here. So I'm going to go with Gane, midway point of the 4th round, arm triangle. The first round, Gane is not going to throw a shot for 3 minutes. And Ngannou's going to chop at his legs a couple of times. Gane's going to move out the way of a couple of them. Move out the way of a couple of big blitzing exchanges from Ngannou. Land a couple of decent jabs towards the second part of the first round. Couple of oblique kicks of his own. Couple leg kicks of his own. He's going to move out the way of Ngannou and land a leg kick as Ngannou goes past him. Land a good jab as well as Ngannou tries to close the distance a couple of times. I think in the second round, Ngannou's going to come out again, trying to chop at the legs early. Maybe he pushes Gane up against a cage, but Gane reverses it and puts Ngannou against a cage. Knees to fire a couple of times, and Ngannou pushes him off in a big eruption of explosiveness. Lands a couple of decent shots on Gane, but Gane takes them well, and Ngannou goes after him in the second round after landing those couple of big shots. Gane's still with it, lands like a lead elbow, clinches up, separates, elbows on the break, moves out the way, and Ngannou's still there, looking a bit defeated. Goes for him again, lands a couple of decent shots, maybe a cuff kick from Ngannou might land, a head kick, that left high kick might get partially blocked by Gane and won't do the damage that it needs to. Good jab from Gane again, another hard leg kick from Gane, and Ngannou's starting to get bothered by the leg kicks. Another teep to the body from Gane. Very slow paced first 2 rounds, but it's going to work for Ciryl Gane. I think he's probably going to lose the first round on aggressiveness, win the second round based on volume. Third round happens, and Gane again. Hesitant in the centre, and Ngannou misses a leg kick. Gane slips out the way. Jab 2. He's starting to follow up his jab with his right hand now. Lands it good on Ngannou's chin. Ngannou feels that one, and all of a sudden there's this fear in Ngannou's eyes. Like, oh shit, this guy's cracking me a little bit now. I need to be a little bit more careful. I'm slowing down a little bit. Tries to find patience. Lands a good 1-1-2 that's partially blocked. Gane takes it well. Maybe falls against the cage a little bit, but bounces back into the open. Moving his feet around. Teep to the body on Ngannou. Jab as Ngannou tries to rush forward, and he moves. Lands a good leg kick as he circles away from Ngannou to the right, and Ngannou overthrows one of his left hands, I guess, as he's crashing forward like a big left hook, followed up after moving in to find the distance on Gane. And then Gane's going to separate again, bounce around. Ngannou's going to try and close him down, track him down. He's moving around, a lot of big movements, and Ngannou's tracking him down. Gane's against a cage, and Ngannou swings big. Gane moves, ducks under, barely avoids an uppercut, and Ngannou's going to be looking for that. Clinches up with Ngannou in over-unders, turns him round against a cage, lands a good knee to the body, lands another good knee to the body, couple of shoulder strikes, couple of foot stomps, couple of knees to the thigh, and Ngannou's starting to get frustrated. He tries to turn around the clinch, and when trying to turn around the clinch, Gane's going to end up taking his back and getting his hands together, takes Ngannou down for a second, who gets back up to his knees against a cage. But towards the end of the third round, Gane's going to land a couple of those shoveling shots as Ngannou's getting back up against a cage, and Ngannou's going to end with his back to the cage, exhausted in over-unders against Ciryl Gane, who's stomping on his feet, who's kneeing him in the thigh over and over again, shoulder striking him as well to keep him busy. Round 4 happens, and Ngannou starts very patient, very timid. Gane's piecing him up a little bit, and Ngannou goes for a big swing. Gane ducks under, takes him down again with like a little sort of pushes him to the cage, and then sort of kicks out his leg from underneath him and drags him to the canvas. And Ngannou's pretty exhausted. Gane's in half guard, he passes over into side control, and Ngannou tries to roll. Gane flattens him out again. You see a big sigh of unhappiness from Ngannou, that he's expressed all of this explosiveness, and it hasn't got him anywhere in that 4th round. He's still on his back in side control. Gane tries to take mount, stupidly, and Ngannou rolls. Gane almost loses it. They end up trying to get back up at the same time, and Gane shoots back in on Ngannou, ends up in side control with an arm triangle position, locks it in, and Ngannou doesn't want to tap, but he taps away at the arm triangle choke in the 4th round, and Ciryl Gane gets it done by submission in the 4th round against Ngannou. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Click that button up there. Toodle pip. I'll see you later. Goodbye. We'll see how correct I am. Goodbye.